Hey everybody, and welcome to Paper Crafting with Tammy. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. It is awesome to see you here. I have a great project for us today that we're going to start on in just a minute. If you haven't done it yet, take a minute and hit that big red subscribe button so you see what else I've got for you next time, and let's get started. The project that I'm going to work on today is part of a hashtag-driven YouTube hop that's featuring digital stamps. They're all floral designs by Summer Quarters. I'm going to go ahead and show you the digital stamp design that I'm using, and then I'm going to start laying out my project for the day while I tell you a little bit more about the hop. This particular digital design is called Daisies, and I have a video that I did previously that shows how to upload that image into the Cricut Design Space software so that you can resize it and have your Cricut go ahead and cut that digital stamp out for you. So hopefully you can take a minute to watch that. I will link that at the end of the video so that you'll have some directions on how to actually create these kinds of cut images. This is the color palette that I'm going to be working with today. Also inspired by some stickers that I plan to include in my project. These were created by a friend of mine who has a shop called A Vintage Girl, and I will also put a link in the video description to her shop if you want to check that out. So lots of fun things going on today, and let's go ahead and get that layout put out while I tell you a little bit more about the hop. As I said already, there are 4 different floral designs that are available in Summer Quarters Etsy shop. So if you look in the description below, you're going to find a link to her Etsy shop, as well as a coupon code for 20% off until the end of August. Okay, I'll also put a link to her Instagram. So it was really great that this artist who creates these digital stamps decided to go ahead and sponsor us for this hop. The nice thing about that for you is you can enter the giveaway, and there'll be details about that in the description, but you can enter the giveaway and they are going to choose 2 winners, and each of those winners will have the opportunity to choose 2 of the digital stamps. Okay, so 2 of the 4. So to see all of the videos included in this hop, you're going to want to use the hashtag that is part of my video title. Okay, you should be able to just click on that hashtag and get a list of all of the videos that are included in the hop. If for some reason that doesn't work, then you want to copy and paste it. It's hashtag teamtinysummerfloralshop. Okay, so go ahead and copy and paste that whole description I just gave you. Put that in the search bar, and that'll bring all of the videos up. There are several different creators participating in this hop. There's some really, really talented individuals. So take the time to go through them, see what people are doing with these digital stamps. You will not be wasting your time. So thanks for joining us today. I am both a card maker and a scrapbooker. I really love to play with templates from Kiwi Lane to lay my designs out before I create a layout. So I went ahead and laid this design out today. I used one of our border sets called Paisley Place. I used a piece called Large Bracket. This is a piece from our banners. And then the rest are photo mats just to help hold my spot. If you have not seen Kiwi Lane before, I'd be happy to share with you a little bit more about it. Just let me know if you're interested. There's also a link in the description to my shop, and you can see a little bit more about it there. So this hop is really about these awesome digital stamps. So I created several different sizes of these stamps to use in my layout today. This piece that you see here is part of a big cluster that I cut, and I just fussy cut to remove just the single flower so I could just highlight one of those in my design. So that's one of the really fun things about doing these is having that opportunity to be able to resize and create whatever it is that you want. So love that. So I'm not sure if I'll do, you know, another cluster maybe down here. I know I like to work in odd numbers, so I'm definitely not going to leave it at 4. So we'll see what else I decide to include. I did have one more flower that I had fussy cut apart, and it may be that I just decide to put it here and let that leaf come into that layout. So to create this design, I went ahead and for now I've got this on a black background. I'm not going to use black when I put this together. I'm actually going to go ahead and create on a white background today, but I wanted to lay it out on the black so you could see the templates. My next job will be figuring out what papers and things I want to use to create all of these elements on my page, and then getting these flowers colored to match and really complement those papers so that they stand out and create a lovely accent on the page. One of the things that I've really enjoyed about using the digital stamps is that I get to control the size of the items that I'm making, and I also get to control the color versus using, you know, just something that's already pre-made. So I pulled out my Spectrum Noir markers to use to color the flowers, and these are the colors that I ended up choosing. I've got the pale pink blend, the light green blend, the bright pink blend, and the earth brown blend. I'm going to start at the center of the flower and work my way out. So I chose the lightest color on the earth brown blend to do the center of the flower. And I went ahead and went over the entire center with that lightest color. And then I moved to the mid-tone and just outlined that center, and then hit some of those little flecks that are there just to give it a little bit more depth and detail. For the petals, I'm using the pale pink blend. I was having a hard time getting a combination that I really loved using a single marker. So I'm actually going to use the dark side of this pale pink blend first, and I'm just going to color over all of these petals. And it's always nice to do something off on the side first, just to make sure that you're getting the colors that you want. I had a really specific palette that I was working with today, wanting to match up the colors of paper that I had chosen. So it took me a little bit to see what combination of markers were going to work the best for that. But this pale pink as my base color ended up being the right choice today. This is the only flower that I'm actually going to color on camera. I did the rest off camera because I don't want to waste your time. All right, so once I made it all the way around with this pale pink blend, I did go ahead and use the bright pink, okay? So this is the bright pink blend, and for this one, this is a very bright pen, so I ended up using the light side of this. And I wanted to lay down a little bit of color around the center. Just went all the way around with that. And then there's already these great accent lines drawn on these digital stamps. So those are a wonderful place to lay down a little bit more color for an accent. And these Spectrum Noir markers are really interesting. I feel like I almost have to color with them and then set it aside and give it some time to do its thing. because the longer they sit, I feel like the richer the tones are. So I did go around each petal with this bright pink, and remember I'm just using the lightest tone, and you can see that that actually adds quite a lot of emphasis and detail. I don't really need anything darker than this, at least not for the colors that I wanted to create today. So I'm just going all the way around. And I will tell you, there are some amazing marker artists out there that do some awesome jobs with the Copics and different styles of markers. The coloring to me is kind of secondary. It's not the part of designing and crafting that I love the most. So I will put some time into my coloring, but you'll see some really talented ladies along this hop, I'm sure. The last thing that I did was chose this light green blend, and I just used the lightest tone to go ahead and color these leaves. And they also have some detail lines drawn on the digital design. And my Cricut did a pretty good job of cutting these out right on the lines. There's a couple of spots where you can see a little bit of an edge, but it's not a lot. I'm going to go ahead and use the mid-tone of this marker to highlight those centers of the leaves, and just really lightly around at least part of the edge. Alrighty, so that's what the flower ended up looking like, and I'll show you. I've got a whole collection of them here of all different sizes. Some I did singles and some I left in the whole clusters. So that'll give me plenty to work with for the layout. All right, I got all those pieces cut, inked, and taped down, aside from the digital stamps. So these beautiful daisies, I want to go ahead and elevate up on just a little bit of foam tape. So I am going to try to apply that so that it doesn't interfere when I want to go ahead and add photos to this layout later. That's always the tricky part when you're going to use them on a scrapbook layout, is making sure that you leave us a little bit of space for those photos. And what I tend to do is put like a little piece, and I won't take the backing off if I think it's going to touch a photo spot. And that way later, once I get that photo and I can tuck it under the edge, I'll take that little piece of foam tape cover off later. So I'm going to continue to work my way around this layout and do that. The other thing that I wanted to add to this layout are a few of these really fun stamps. Now, I am not an owner of a static pouch, so if I want to use a stamp like this, I have to think about exactly where it's going to go, and excuse me, a sticker like this, I have to think about where I'm going to put it. And because I don't have that static pouch, I go ahead and apply my little foam squares straight to the sticker. And then I can use just a little bit of baby powder. Now you'll notice I have not taken the sticky part off of my foam squares yet. That's because I'm using the baby powder. So this is just kind of a hack, a little workaround if you do not have an anti-static pouch. Now I can take that adhesive backing off and go ahead and place this beautiful butterfly. So I am going to place it here, And I'll make sure when I get this flower adhered down that it's just resting gently on the edge of that daisy. I decided to share one last thing with you, and that is the way that I use a close to my heart shimmer brush. So this one happens to be a gold one, and I just thought it would be really pretty to add a little touch of gold glitter right to the insides of these beautiful flowers. So I do tend to squeeze a little bit from the pens off on an extra piece of paper, simply because sometimes I'll squeeze out more than I'm expecting, and I'm not a big fan of surprises. If this was the first time that you've been on my channel today, I would love it if you decided to stick around. Just hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell, and I'll get a chance to share more things with you in the future. Don't forget to visit some more of the different channels on the Hop, and I hope that you discover lots of amazing things. Thanks for visiting today, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.